好莱坞最糟糕的电影终于有上映了 ，Snow White 2025。
Whack.
我跟你讲吼 the script and dialogue in this movie seems like it was written by AI from 3 years ago, and the CGI is on par with Jurassic Park from 32 years ago. But all of this pales in comparison to the worst aspect of this movie. Rachel Zegler. The things she says publicly and the things she posts are like atomic bombs, one after the other, completely leveling Disney's century-old brand before the movie even premiered. Rachel Zegler is like Disney's very own Chernobyl incident, causing the audience to be completely unwilling to approach the disaster site known as the movie theater. So, you know what time it is, grab that bag of palm sponsored by Magic Planet, as we dive headfirst into the dumpster fire that is Rachel Zegler in Snow White. 大起大掉。Once upon a time, we all put Amber Heard at the top of the most hated actress list. But spend a little bit of time with Rachel Zegler and you'll really start to miss that bed-pooping bee-stepper.
My dog stepped on a bee.
I mean, at least Amber kept her madness of vase-throwing and tongue-lashings directed at Johnny, but Rachel Zegler is on some Taoji Lao Sayang level shit.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
Oh, this actress really showed her enthusiasm for the project by declaring she doesn't like her character, thinks the script belongs in a museum, and basically treated the original work with all the respect of a toddler discovering finger paint on grandma's antique sofa. Nothing says, "Please buy tickets to my movie," quite like publicly trashing the very thing you're selling. Who needs marketing when you can have an actress willing to do the complete opposite of promotion?
Not a great plan.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows?
Well, apparently she thought the best way to champion feminism was to throw her colleague under the bus, because nothing says girl power quite like publicly roasting your coworker, right? I'm sure her colleague was absolutely thrilled to be an unwitting extra in her one-woman show of moral superiority.
Respect women today and every day.
Disrespectfully giving everyone the middle finger while demanding respect from others. It's like eating a bowl of lulo fight and then getting everyone shit for not sisue.
I echo Ethel Kane's statement more than anything. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace.
Then, after a political figure she doesn't like gets elected with approval of more than half of the country, she has the balls to curse the president and the people who chose him, vowing that they never see peace?
Weird.
And then there's Gal Gadot, the one who plays the evil queen in the movie and also is Rachel's co-star. And by the way, she happens to be Israeli, and pretty much everyone knows what happened on October the 7th. But Rachel Zegler, she don't give a fuck.
It will always be free Palestine.
The son of Snow White producer Mark Platt absolutely unleashes on Rachel Zegler for ruining his father's movie. Jonah Platt is ripping the 23-year-old actress for getting political and ruining Snow White. The comment from Platt was found on Instagram after one user asked why his dad flew to New York City to talk to Zegler about tanking the movie. Platt specifically blamed Zegler and her narcissism for the film's flop.
Freedom of speech is a contract between you and the government, not between you and an individual, and certainly not between you and a goddamn company.
You're goddamn right.
When you shoulder a $200 million investment, what you say is held accountable to the investors. But the word accountability doesn't seem to be in Rachel Zegler's lexicon.
Your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech, no? Shame on your father. Son of the producer responds, "You really want to do this?" "Yeah, my dad, the producer of enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires and the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged."
And as if all this immature, irresponsible nonsense wasn't enough, she decided to push it completely over the edge.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Well, apparently someone is trying really hard to win the Oscar for most convincing person who really means it. And it seems like Beba Gongzu thinks that with this shitty apology that everyone will forgive her and skip merrily to the theaters to go and see her movie. Well, I did. This cinematic experience was more like a combat endurance sport. Exactly 100 minutes of my life leaving me feeling like 世界最卡的变 me. And less than halfway through, I was screaming at the movie screen. And in the next chapter, I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw so you don't have to. 代志大条咯。
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
Shit, that's right. You scared me. But not just me, the entire world as well. If Disney's previous films like The Little Mermaid and Peter Pan were two nuclear leakage incidents, then Snow White is like a straight up Chernobyl explosion. This movie's trailer has over 17 million views with 71,000 likes and 2.1 million dislikes. That's 20 times more dislikes than likes, yo.
If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out.
This comment alone has over 140,000 likes, and I gotta tell you, it is the most accurate comment I've ever seen. Now, what I'm about to say contains spoilers, so if you really want to waste your money watching this movie, you might want to skip ahead. Oh look everyone, it's Snow White 2025, the princess who apparently skipped the Law and Order chapter in her royal education. Our heroine spots a dashing bandit helping himself to the castle's pantry and thinks,
arrest him? Nah, that's so last century.
Instead of doing the responsible royal thing, when the thief gets caught and faces actual consequences, Snow White transforms into Princess Jailbreak, sneaking around to free him because, get this, she believes theft is basically the government's fault. This is straight up the fairy tale version of Ling Yuan Go. And who needs pesky laws where you can just blame everything on the system? Next thing you know, she'll be arguing that poison apples are bad because we haven't given them enough hugs.
That's crazy, man.
Then the queen dispatches her very special diversity hire, a black assassin, to take care of Snow White, because nothing says inclusive casting quite like making the only black character with actual lines someone who murders people for a living.
God damn, that was racist.
Oh, so the assassin completely changes his murderous ways because Snow White hands him an apple?
Well, I was going to kill her, but then this Red Delicious has me reconsidering my entire moral code.
Is this some bizarre fruit-based commentary on BLM, or just suggesting that the black assassin has the decision-making depth of a kiddie pool? Shit, even ChatGPT would write a more convincing character arc. Did the screenwriters lose their brains in a tragic shoplifting incident?
Hello? Is there anybody here?
So, 小杂包公主 walks into someone else's house, rummages around and then falls asleep, and this is where we see the 7 most horribly CGI dwarves ever. In real talk, the CGI is way worse than Jurassic Park from 32 years ago. They look like generic characters from a horror movie who would appear and immediately get killed.
The queen stole everything from all of us.
So the queen stole everything. Yet everyone's dressed like they shop at H&M or NET. The streets are spotless and not a single beggar in sight. And those starving dwarves, they're working in a goddamn diamond mine. A brisk walk from the palace, no less. Meanwhile, our hero risks his neck, stealing potatoes in the best dressed economic crisis ever filmed.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
After Snow White is awakened by a kiss from the thief, she decides to take back the kingdom. And how does she do this? She voluntarily walks up to the queen and gets captured by the guards. And because she remembers every guard's name and believes they are very kind, the guards are touched and decide to help Snow White overthrow the queen.
Some fuckery's going on.
This has got to be the laziest, most saddest, pathetic excuse for a script I have ever seen. Oh, and remember how they initially turned the 7 dwarves into 7 real actual people? Well, they're there, only they've been renamed 7 bandits, with only 1 actual dwarf. And with such a cast of colorfully diverse characters, you would think these DEI cast members would have a lot of lines, right?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
The entire film only has 1 black actor with dialogue, and he has fewer than 10 lines. The only real dwarf in the film has less than 10 lines, 5 of which are repetitive. And then when it comes to women of color, they have absolutely no dialogue at all. In fact, they're pretty much just background extras. The most unequal DEI film ever, yo.
Weird.
Now, although many people say Rachel Zegler is a great actress in this film, while Gal Gadot not so much, maybe it's because I already know Rachel Zegler is a very horrible person. Even if she is a Golden Globe winner, to me, her fake as Nature's like Chernobyl radiation, yo. No amount of concrete, no matter how thick, and no acting skill, no matter how good, can cover up her gay by nature. Simply put, it's just shit. Now, after this movie was released, it was like Oppenheimer seeing the atomic bomb explode for the first time. We knew it would be bad, but we couldn't imagine it would be this bad. So let's get on down to chapter 3 to see just how bad the destruction site is. 真的是代志大条。For Disney, Snow White is just like Thanos.
I am inevitable.
An inevitable disaster. When Snow White snapped her fingers, everyone in the theater disappeared.
I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. I hope, it's off the walk we go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. 1, 2.
And even more interesting, RACHELZEGLER actually posted this video after its release. So homegirl is out celebrating her starring role in a movie with her friend. Or maybe it's friends. Well shit, there sure as hell ain't anyone else there.
$43 million at the box office, which is not the figure that Disney was hoping for after splashing $250 million on the film. What more can you tell us?
I can tell you that The Lion King made $191 million and Beauty and the Beast made $174 million. So this is giving Wipeout. And it's not just, I know that some people will say, don't listen to the online chatter, don't listen to the conservative chatter, but it's not just conservative chatter. On Rotten Tomatoes, where these are professional critics, it scored only 44%. So it's more than Rachel being woke. It's more than them changing the story too much. This is really a bad movie, and I apologize to Walt Disney himself. I'm sorry.
What's worse is that this movie has only 1.5 on IMDb. Want to know how bad 1.5 is? The Human Centipede 2, you know that classic about people pooping in each other's mouths, has a 3.8, and Snow White doesn't even reach half of that.
If you go to the lowest rated movies in history, Snow White right now, based on what we're looking at right here, Snow White would rank in the top 5 most disliked movies in history on IMDb.
On IMDb's ranking, the lowest rated movie has a 1.2, and Snow White has already fallen to a 1.5 in just a week of it being released. It is on the fast track to becoming the lowest rated film on IMDb.
But that changes next week. I believe Minecraft comes out next weekend. And as soon as that movie drops, it's gonna crush this movie.
So this movie needs at least $500 million at the box office to break even. But its current box office numbers are less than $100 million. And with new movies coming out every week, it's almost certain that Disney is about to lose over $300 million.
After the box office flop, Snow White lost hundreds of millions of dollars for Disney. She decides to rage post behind every strong woman is herself. She continued celebrating herself by posting that she's in the #1 movie in the world, which is a remarkable thing to post when you are the laughingstock of an entire industry. This is what narcissism looks like. Narcissism for 200. Look at me. I'm Snow White. Now, Rachel Zegler has literally become the meme. Oh yeah.
Then, after all this disaster, she posted a photo of herself standing in front of her own picture saying that
behind every successful woman is another woman.
No thanks to the director or the film company, no thanks to anyone, just thanks to herself.
God bless you. And fuck off.
Now, I don't know about you, but after seeing all this, 我真的很想念 Amber Heard. 你不觉得吗?
Not really. Maybe. It's classified.
So, let this be a lesson to all of you. If you're gonna choose snow, make sure it's the right color.
And no yellow snow. No yellow snow. That's not lime.
It's piss, just like this movie. And this film is floating all the way down the piss-filled river into the bankrupt valley.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I'm definitely biased. But what about you? Will you go see it? And if you have seen it, was it worse than you ever imagined? Let me know down below. Remember to keep it civil, like, comment, subscribe, get some popcorn, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace!